Crossroads Football Live with Sports Director Gino Perez and Sports Reporter Zach Brown. Crossroads Football Live is sponsored by Palace Bingo, Frost Bank, Full Pep, Victoria Dodge Jeep Ram Wagoneer, and Victoria College.
Howdy Crossroads, and welcome to the area round of playoffs Crossroads Football Live Show. I'm your host Gino Perez, and this will be the final CFL show of the 2023 football season. Hey, but don't be sad. That does not mean our coverage of football will stop. That just means that we just won't have this whole fancy production putting it together. But we will still have multiple area teams advancing on to the third round of playoffs, which is good for us and you as well, because ultimately they're all competing for the ultimate goal of a state title. Now let's start about 2 hours away in LaGrange. It's the Industrial Cobras versus the Roe Randolph Hawks. And the first possession of the game, here's the Hawks here. That was a cool one. I've never seen that run out tunnel before. Looks pretty cool for the Hawks. But on the first possession, Industrial strikes with a quick touchdown to take the early 7-0 lead. Get that ball out of here. Martin doing good on the first drive for the Industrial Cobras. But Randolph trying to get something going, tosses it way downfield, and it's picked off. The defense doing its work, getting it right back near the line of scrimmage originally, but then not long after, the Industrial Cobras strike again as Ashton Garza sneaks his way in for the score. It's a two-score game. Now the Cobras special teams feeling a little saucy with an onside kick, and it works to perfection. They would go on to rattle 21 consecutive points with this Garza run all the way to the corner and the pylon. This one getting out of hand. Garza shushing the crowd as he goes by, but the Rohawks would finally find a way to respond towards the end of the first quarter. And this right here, as he drops back, searching, scanning, drops a bomb deep, and this is right in the breadbasket for the score. Industrial would have a 28-7 lead at halftime, and the final score for this one, 38-21. The Industrial Cobras win, and you know what that means. Last night, Edna got the victory, and Industrial wins. So that means we will have a Lavaca County Showdown Part 2. I know y'all are excited about that one. Now let's go to sports reporter Zach Brown, who has been all over the place tonight. First, he started in Bastrop to see the first part of the Calhoun and Burnett game, but then he went to LaGrange for the Industrial Randolph game. That's where he's out now. Zach?
Well, just final here in LaGrange, 38-14, the Industrial Cobras victorious. Coach Nairn, was it everything you expected here in the area round?
Yes, sir. You know, our kids came out and they got after them right from the get-go, and we got out to a pretty good lead, and, you know, we're able to maintain it throughout the game, so it was good stuff.
Now, you guys jumped out to an early 14-0 lead, and you kept your foot on the gas. Talk about that onside kick and the decision to kick an onside kick in the first quarter. It worked out for you.
Oh, yeah. You know, our kicker, Bryce Warren, he's been working on that a long time, a little tap, and the ball rolls 10, 11, 12 yards, and it gives people trouble, you know, and he's good at it, and he works it, and we had faith in him, and he pulled it off, and led to a big score for us to kind of bust open early, you know.
Absolutely, 21-0. Now you guys have to get ready for a rematch of one of the biggest rivalries in our area, the Lavaca River Showdown. We'll call it the Lavaca River rematch for this week. How you guys feeling leading into that week?
Hey, you know, we're glad to be there, and we're glad to play them, and we look forward to getting after them. And, you know, it's always going to be a physical game, and there's always a lot of talk back and forth, but at the end of the day, you know, we'll have to figure it out on the field, and I think our kids are up to the test.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait for that one, Coach. Thank you. Another man that's going to be very excited, always plays with a chip on his shoulder, quarterback Ashton Garza. And I know nobody's more excited for the Lavaca River rematch than this man right here. How you feeling leading into next week?
I'm excited. I'm confident that we're going to come out swinging like we did last time we played them and how we played tonight. And I'm just ready. I'm preparing mentally. And it's Thanksgiving break. I'm excited I don't have school.
Wait, so do you guys still have football practice?
Yes. In the mornings, early in the morning.
Oh, man. Well, you guys are either going to probably play somewhere nearby, maybe in Victoria, maybe Bay City. But regardless of where you guys play, both crowds are going to show up, be loud. Are you guys mentally prepared for everything that comes with the banter back and forth and the rivalry that is Edna and Industrial?
to the players, that mess don't really matter to us. We just kind of ignore it mostly. But, there's always people talking. That's how it's going to be.
Now, you guys were down 21-0 in that game last time, came all the way back and nearly pulled off an incredible upset. You showed that you can play with this team. What do you have to do to get the victory this week?
Just practice like we did last time or even better. Just got to come out and compete with them.
Awesome, Ashton. As always, my pleasure. 38-14 final score. These two teams very excited. We can't wait for that game next week. We got some Cobras fans over here that are excited for this Lavaca River rematch. Reporting from LaGrange, Zach Brown, KVUE-TV 25 News Now Sports.
I like that, Zach, the Lavaca River rematch. Well, now we go to this Calhoun Sand Crabs in Bastrop for round 2. Early in the first quarter, the Bulldogs make it 7-0. But in a similar fashion, Calhoun, Alex Parker, he follows his blockers in to tie it up at 7. Again, burn it in the red zone. They fake the run and then just toss it to the tight end out in the flats. Easy one for the Bulldogs, 14-7. But then Calhoun would tie it up and then they do an onside kick. I swear there was a bunch of these all around the area and they come up with it. Whitaker making the aggressive decision and it works. A few plays later, the triple option leads to 6 more points for Salinas as he finds the corner of the end zone from over 10 yards out. And Calhoun continuing to dominate on both sides of the ball, and Campos plows his way in for the score to go up 28-14 at halftime, and the Calhoun Sand Crabs go on to win 42-14 after falling behind early, but once they took the lead, they never looked back. Now the Calhoun Sand Crabs will either play Alice or Lampasas in round 3. That'll be one that we will also be watching next week. Well, coming up after the break, we've got more highlights and scores from all around the area. So grab a drink and a snack, but don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. And we are back, and we have more highlights and scores to get to, so let's dive in. Now the Victoria East Titans are taking on the Raiders, who are projected to make it to the state title game. So East has a lot of work to do, and head coach Reeve is telling his team, hey, we got to come out strong if we want to battle in this one. In the first quarter, PSG running back gets the toss, and he does the rest as he powers his way in, fighting his way through many Titans in for the score, 8 yards. What a tough run by PSG there to go up early 7-0. But on the ensuing kickoff, oh, their fans love that, love to see that. But on the ensuing kickoff, Victoria's East, David McCooks, he starts cooking, and I'm talking about with grease because he's grease lightning. He doesn't quite make it all the way to the end zone, but he gets just outside the red zone. Unfortunately, they could not capitalize on the offensive side of the ball. Next possession, PSG, number 21 again, runs all the way down to the East 7-yard line. And, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't break it. They just keep giving it to him, keep feeding that man because he just runs up the middle for a score, putting them up 14-0. And this one got out of hand. PSG North winning 42-7 to stay undefeated. Meanwhile, Victoria East Titans season end, but a great one and very positive. I mean, they won the boot this year under first-year head coach Charlie Reeves, so this is a big program motivating shift, if you will, for the Victoria East Titans. Now the area round of playoffs for two teams in the preseason that were playing in Victoria. Edna's second drive from the Jordanton 7 connects with Jaden Clay connects with Braylon Harris for the score 7-0. And 2 minutes later, Clay hands it off to Cade Rodas, who jukes and plows his way in for the score from 20 yards out, 14-0 Edna. Next drive, Rodas again gets the rock, and this time he hits the road jack, and he ain't ever coming back because he takes this one 40-plus yards to the score. Doesn't matter about the extra point. This one got out of hand. Edna had a 20-0 lead in the first quarter. The Indians trying to get a stop on defense or really just getting anything going on offense. And meanwhile, this was picked off by Tyson Owens. He stiff arms his way for a great gain into the Jordanton side of the field. But Clay, with a few seconds left, he tosses it up to Tyson Owens. That's a 2-for-1, I don't know, special, and he goes in for the score. But there ain't done yet. 30 seconds left in the half. Defense comes up big for Edna with the strip sack, and Coach Jimmy Mitchell plays aggressive. With 10 seconds left on the clock, he goes for the Hail Mary, and it is caught and score. Edna up big at the half, 36-0, go on to win 46-6 to upset the Jordanton Indians, giving them their first loss of the season. Now, they will play Industrial, like we said. The Lavaca River rematch is what Zach's calling it, so I'm just going to call it that too. What a game. I am super excited for that one. Now we go to one of the other bigger games of the year, number 4 Cuero versus number 8 Hampshire Fennec. Mason Notaro rushes up the middle for an easy score. Cuero tied at 7. Then, this was so nice. A screen catches the Longhorns in a blitz to go in for yet another one. Cuero running away with this one. And the Gobblers wide open. Kenneth Jackson extending the lead to 34-21 at halftime. These two played last season. Cuero came out on top. Now let's see if that happened this time. This one got a lot closer towards the end of the game, but Cuero holds on 44-33. Tough matchup, but a tough victory for the Cuero Gobblers. They'll play Connolly or Jasper in the next round of playoffs. Now let's check out some other scores from around the area, and there are quite a few of them. First, we start with the El Campo Ricebirds. Their season is over as they lose to Chapel Hill 54-18. This is the other Reeve brother, Travis Reeve, and El Campo fell, but it's bittersweet for the head coach because he loses to his son, Blake Reeve, who was on the opposite side of the field coaching against him. I'm sure he would have loved to beat his son, but hey, it's a win-win, I guess. Anyways, Goliad, they get the victory to move on, 41-21 over the Hondo Owls. They will play Blanco in the next round. The district champions are continuing to roll. They are on fire this season. And of course, the Tidehaven Tigers continue to do what they did all year long. 41-0 over the Dilley Wolves. They will play Rogers next. The Shiner Comanches season ends. Holland Hornets will play Ganado in the next round, 28-14. Refugio, meanwhile, dominant. This game was 77, I believe. I don't think this is the correct final score, but they'll play Weimar in the next round. Ganado Indians, they got the victory last night, 37-12. They'll play Holland. And the Indians, now we go to the Victoria West Warriors. West, if they win, they play tomorrow. They'll take on Harlingen South. And also playing tomorrow is the the Victoria Cobras, and they play NYOS Jaguars. And the Jackson County football teams went 6-0 this week, and the game of the week will feature the rematch between the Edna Cowboys and the Industrial Cobras. That should be an exciting one. Well, thank you for being here for the final Crossroads Football Live. I'm proud to be your host, but we will continue to follow all the teams till we either have a state champion or they're all out. Good night, Crossroads.